So recently I started a new job, which was really just an old job with a new position. And as I was walking on one of the units, I work with adolescents with behavior problems. I could see the picture of this kid that I had worked with in my just clearly. And I remembered the conversation, his dimples, his smile. And I knew at that moment when I worked with him that he was headed down a troubled path. But it was just something very endearing about him. He didn't know how to read very well, so I remember even though he was like 15 years old, almost 15 years old, I was pulling sight words lists and things like that, trying to help him learn to read. Anyway, moving forward, about 2-3 days ago, I found out that that same kid had been murdered by just random gun violence. Or so I thought. And then when I started telling people about how it bothered me, and when I started looking him up, I realized that he had started running with the Bloods. But it really bothered me because I fought for that child to be there, and he was not participating in his therapy, so he eventually had to leave. And it made me think. Somebody said, well, that was the life he chose. And the question for me is, was it? Was that what he chose, or was that the life that chose him? Was that his only option? Or did he choose those options? It's a lot to ponder, because then when you start looking back at the records, the family history, looked at the dad. Dad was in prison. Dad ran with the gang. Mom got married. Stepdad was in the gang. And then even when I looked at his memorial service that somebody had posted, it was a lot of gang signs being thrown, talking about how they turned the city out for him. And yeah, they made it live and they went out shooting. So my question is, was that the life that he chose? Do people like that have options?